Yeah, buddy. Hey, we did it. We did it. We drafted all of our teams. We are back. First of all, welcome back to another episode of Extremely Average Fantasy Football Podcast. I don't know how extreme it is, but it is very average. So average. And happy to have you with us here today. I am in 5 different redraft leagues, and all 5 have finally been drafted. So that's what we're going to cover today. Some post-draft tips, some team overviews. I'm not going to go too much into lineups. We're just kind of going to get a feel how I feel for the roster. It's way too much with injuries and things. Like, there's already things happening. Mark Andrews is injured, but he's like coming back to practice, right? Jerry Jeudy's injured. We've got some big names out there. Travis Kelce today, I think, was injured. Cooper Kupp is injured. Like, all that stuff. I'm not going into lineups and matchups. Follow the experts, man. I listen to Fantasy Pros. I listen to ESPN, and I listen to Fantasy Footballers. Probably more fantasy footballers than anything else. Super digestible podcast that's easy for anyone to listen to, regardless of whatever level that they're at. So that's my plug. We do some plugs. I don't get paid for them. Nobody knows that I'm here, baby. Let's dive into it. So first of all, after you're done with the draft, always check out who's left over. Sometimes we get caught up in the ADP. Sometimes the ADP doesn't pull players up that we're like, oh yeah, that guy, there's like a Mims dude, some receiver for the Denver Broncos. It's like, okay, if Jerry Jeudy's done, Tim Patrick, not done, but if he's not ready to come back, Tim Patrick's done for the season. Like, obviously we believe that Cortland Sutton's going to be the guy that's going to go out there and get it done. But there's also this rookie, this Mims guy who was way down on the depth chart that now can be the number 2 option. So he might be somebody that went undrafted and you want to pick up. Van Jefferson is a guy that I've seen. I think I picked him up in one of my leagues. Cooper Kupp's not ready to go. Cooper Kupp may go on IR. They're not sure yet, but Van Jefferson's the next man up. Isaiah Likely would be the next guy up if Mark Andrews misses any time. I think there's a Noah dude I should know because I'm rocking my Chiefs gear for Travis Kelce. I am a Chiefs fan from Missouri. But the backup tight end for Kansas City, maybe. Yeah. Kyler Murray has been a big one that people have forgotten about, especially if you have an IR slot. Kyler Murray and Jeff Wilson Jr. Those are the 2 that I would look to fill. If you have to drop somebody to add them, drop your kicker. Drop the kicker, add your IR guy, move him into the IR, add your kicker back, or another kicker, because it's probably going to make you wait like 2 days or something like that. So that's a way to go about doing it. If you've already done your draft and you're like, oh, I can't get these guys, my lineup is full, especially on the IR slots, hit that up. I'm trying to think of other people. Roshan Johnson is gone undrafted. That's a rookie for Chicago Bears running back. He's gone undrafted. Kendre Miller has gone undrafted, rookie running back for the New Orleans Saints. That one I'm a little hesitant on. He's been injured and he's come back, and then he's re-injured and he comes back and he's been re-injured. It's not a very healthy cycle that we have going on here. My main point, though, check the waiver wire. See who went undrafted. See if there's somebody that you can put on your IR. That is something you can do today, it being Wednesday. And football tomorrow, baby. It's like so awesome and terrible at the same time. I think I have Christian Watson and Cooper Kupp in one league. We'll find out. We're going to go over my teams here in a second, but Cooper Kupp's not playing, and then I think Christian Watson did not practice due to a hamstring injury. And I think that's what Cooper Kupp's dealing with. But those soft tissue injuries just kind of tend to linger, and you tend to re-injure them throughout the season. So that could be troublesome. We'll see. But I love some football. Who else? MVS, especially with Kansas City, especially with the Chiefs. If Travis Kelce does not go tomorrow, which he probably won't, let's be honest, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, maybe. I don't know how you say it. They call him MVS. Look it up. Chiefs receiver. Rashi Rice. I don't know how you say his first name. Rashi. It's probably Rashi. I think that's how it's spelled. I don't know. We're average. Last name Rice. Kansas City receiver. Maybe that's somebody you want to roll the dice on. I think there's a Watson dude that's out there. I don't even know the names of my team's receivers. Also because it's impossible to know in fantasy where the ball is going. I mean, even with Travis Kelce on the field, most likely Travis Kelce. But without him, you never know. And I'm honestly, as just a fan, I'm not too worried. I know the Lions are hyped. I know they have talent. I hope Jahmyr Gibbs does well. I have him on one of my teams. You give Andy Reid time to prepare for a game, and he's had the whole offseason for this, and then you have Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. I don't care who's out there. They're just going to get it done. You just need those two. And this is going to be a big test. And so I'm pretty pumped for it. Pumped for tomorrow night. Okay, who else? Deion Jackson, big name that might be out there on the waiver wire. Running back for the Colts without Zach Moss, I think is the other guy. Without Zach Moss, Deion might be in for a decent workload, and we saw him be productive without Jonathan Taylor there last year. So that might be somebody you check out. Okie dokie. All that said, all that worrying, stay calm. It is week 1. All right. We're not going into matchups and things like that. Really, for week 1, I'm assessing usage. I'm assessing trends. I'm not, if somebody doesn't have a huge game on week 1, it's week 1. Let's see, Baltimore, new offensive system, new offensive weapons. I'm not too worried about anybody on Baltimore if, it looks like crap on week 1. Deshaun Watson is going to have to be somebody who I'm patient with. And we know that it was a struggle last year. If they don't come out firing, I'll be a little concerned just because of how bad he looked last year. I would love to see it working well. But again, it's week 1. We are chilling out. Okay. Players need time to develop, especially our rookies. New offensive systems take time to really get into place. The athletes, it takes time to get up to a full speed NFL level. And so we just want to kind of see more of trends. Did our running backs, how many touches did they get? How many routes did they run on passing route? What were the air yards like? Let's just look and see if we can get a little bit of hope. What was the target share looking like? All these things are basically, how did they use the player? And how many handoffs, how many carries did a running back get? How many times did they pass him the ball? How many times did he catch that ball? These little stats are kind of just player usage, player trends. Who did they go to on third down? What did the 2-minute offense look like? Who was the target that this offense was going to? I'm just looking for those little hints, little tips to see what the coaching personnel is, what their game plan seems to be, just so I can try to get ahead. and see what players are going to pop off because of that scheme. So don't toss talent because of one poor performance, but do make note of big performances. Look for breakout people in week 1. I think fantasy footballers said this. The people that break out in week 1 tend to perform better over the season than players that take a little bit longer to have that breakout. So if you're in a fab league, 2 different schools of thought, like free agent acquisition budget, right? Basically, if you bid on the waiver wire, it's not automatically calculated for you based on week-to-week performance. If you actually throw in a bid, you can, if somebody really breaks out and you need somebody in that position, maybe you go a little heavy at the beginning of the year. I kind of like to save mine until I'm in need, but then you're kind of at the mercy of the league. If nothing's happening and the rosters are pretty much locked in and no major injuries or whatever, you're kind of just riding with who you're riding with. So just something to be aware of, something to check out. Let's see. Trading, preseason trading is kind of a thing too, but you got to believe in your own roster. I'm trying to trade right now. I'm trying to trade Deion Jackson for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray might be out for half the season, but I can throw him into my IR. Somebody just picked him up off IR before I did. I dropped my kicker to pick up Deion Jackson, hoping that the Jonathan Taylor owner would maybe do something before this week starts. So I'm poking that bear right now. Already, man. Already. Yeah, I know Deion Jackson for Kyler Murray is a bit of a stretch, but like if you have Jonathan Taylor and he's not playing, and what do we've got Kyler Murray who's not playing. Maybe you get a guy who gives you some value right at the beginning of the year. Kick the tires, man. Kick the tires. With that said, let's dive in. Let's see what kind of teams your old boy Clayton got to draw up here. The first one we're going to start with, this is on ESPN, and this is a 10-team full PPR. That is 1 point per reception. 10-team. This is a freebie. I think somebody told me that they loved me. I'm pretty sure it was the neighbor saying that to his wife or fiance or whatever woman that he lives with. I don't think that he was telling me that. I digress. 10-team. This is a freebie league. This is one that I just wanted to have fun with. I had the 2nd overall pick. Who did I take second? There was no way that I was going to get this player in any other draft. I was either too early in the drafts or I was too late. It seemed like I drafted at the turn on almost every draft that I did this year. I don't know how that happened, but it just happened that way. So I was 2nd overall, not Justin Jefferson. Not Christian McCaffrey, not Austin Eckler, not Jamar Chase. Bijan Robinson with the 2nd overall pick of a 10-team league. I want to have fun. I was not going to get Bijan Robinson anywhere else, and everybody's talking about how he's a generational talent. I want to have some fun. This is a freebie league. I'm not paying any money. I'm not winning any money. Nothing's on the really on the table for it, and it's out of. I have 4 other leagues that I'm in. So let's have some fun. Bijan Robinson with the number 2 pick. I follow that up with a Josh Jacobs. So we got Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs as a running back. My 3rd running back, I went with Cam Akers a little later on and snagged him up. Without Cooper Kupp, he's going to be the focus of the offense. If he does anything like what he did at the end of last year, I really like him. Not splitting carries with anybody. He runs that backfield. So with Bijan Robinson, no competition. Josh Jacobs, they might get Zamir White in there a little bit every now and then to give him a breather. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier might get a little work in, just kind of give him a breather. But those guys are going to be, Kyron Williams might get in there for the Rams as a little breather. But I believe that those guys have a hold on that backfield, and that's what I'm looking for. My receivers, Calvin Ridley, going on the upside. Let's go. If I'm in a freebie league, this is where I want to take Calvin Ridley. If he does awesome, cool, I win. If he doesn't, freebie league, who cares? Keenan Allen is my other wide receiver. Again, maybe injury prone, a little up there in age, but he's on a great offense. Both of those players are, and if he wins, I win. Right? David Njoku coming in. So we're punting the tight end position, essentially. David Njoku getting him a little later in draft. And I got Justin Fields as my quarterback. Again, high risk, man. Everybody's got tape on him now. So that's something. Teams can prepare for Justin Fields. But if he just levels up a little bit in his passing game, let's go. Let's go. If he does what he did last year. So, starting roster, Justin Fields, Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen, David Njoku, Cam Akers, and I got Cowboys as my defense, and Tyler Bass as my kicker. Who cares? 10-team PPR. What's the bench look like? Tyler Lockett, love it. Jahan Dotson, love it. Antonio Gibson, don't love having the ground game and the air game for the same team, especially when it's on a team like the Washington Commanders. If it was something different like the Chiefs or something like the Chiefs, of course I'm going to say that. A good team, right? If it was on a good team, Chiefs, Eagles, maybe Cowboys, something like that, then I don't mind it as much, but I'm going to have to have a headache possibly where it's like, do I think that they're going to be ahead enough to where they're running the ball, or do I think they're going to be passing the ball? In this instance, I've kind of really cornered myself because Antonio Gibson is the pass catching running back. So if I think that they're going to be behind and passing the ball a lot, then it's like, well, they could pass the ball to either one of these guys. So that might be tough. Zay Flowers on the bench. Zay could be the way, baby. He could be the number one in Baltimore. Jerick McKinnon on the bench for any kind of passing that, Patrick Mahomes is going to do. McKinnon should be the guy. But I do have Tyler Algier on my bench as well. I went ahead and secured Bijan Robinson. Should anything happen, heaven forbid. But Tyler Algier is a great running back, and we were stoked on him last year too. He was just involved in a committee, so we'll see what happens with Atlanta. Again, Geno Smith on the bench to back up Justin Fields. 10-team, full PPR, freebie league. Let's go. I feel pretty good about that. Again, not too worried. I like my ceiling, right? Justin Fields could go off. Bijan Robinson could go off. Josh Jacobs has already done it. Calvin Ridley could go off. Keenan Allen could go off and is going to be pretty consistent there, especially in a PPR. I love that. David Njoku, usually rushing quarterbacks like their tight ends. So we'll see what happens there. Cam Akers, he's showed it before. So if he's back in full style like that, Tyler Lockett's a great PPR asset. Jahan Dotson could hit the ceiling. Antonio Gibson for PPR, I like it. Zay Flowers, we'll wait and see. Jerick McKinnon gets a little point every time he catches it. And then Tyler Algier to back it up. And Geno Smith, just in case Justin Fields somehow sucks butt this year. Sick. Moving on. This is my OG league. This is 15 years in. I think we're on our 15th season this year. This is a half-point PPR, 12-team. Another share, Justin Fields. I like the value for Justin Fields in a mobile quarterback. You just get so many points for the rushing. That's upside, baby. Jahmyr Gibbs is my running back. I really like him. I like him better if I have somebody like a Joe Mixon or a Josh Jacobs or, somebody who has a hold on that backfield. But I went receiver heavy. We'll get there on this one. But Jahmyr Gibbs and Kenneth Walker, So 2 guys that are kind of splitting carries, not super pumped about that. So we'll have to see what's going on. And I took some shots on running back later in the draft, so we'll see that. Justin Fields, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kenneth Walker. My wide receiver, Justin Jefferson and Chris Olave. It is heaven in the wide receiver room for me over here. Justin Jefferson could put up historic numbers this year. The kid is amazing, and he keeps getting better. And now it's like I think they got a new offense that just wants to throw the ball even more. Well, they're going to have to because Dalvin Cook's not there. They're relying on Alexander Mattison. They don't know how that's going to go. Justin Jefferson's one of the safest picks. Second, I drafted second in this one too. So to be able to go Justin Jefferson, get Jahmyr Gibbs, and then turn around and get Chris Olave, and then turn around and get Kenneth Walker, I'd like that a lot. Really, really like the Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave combo. Chris Olave had one of the most air yards last year. He's going to be a breakout receiver for sure. Definitely getting hyped up, rightfully so. Super punt, the tight end position. We got Jake Ferguson. Who's Jake Ferguson, dude? Tight end for Dallas. Dak Prescott likes his tight ends. We didn't know... I forget who the dude is. He plays for Houston now. We didn't know who he was, the tight end last year. Why? I can't think, but Dalton Schultz. Thank you. Goodness, that was going to drive me nuts. We didn't know who Dalton Schultz was until Dak Prescott made him a thing. So maybe Dak Prescott makes Jake Ferguson a thing. In the flex, Brandon Ayuk, Jets for the defense. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, for my kicker. Now, here's where it's fun. Jonathan Taylor is on my bench. If Jonathan Taylor plays this year, that'll be fun. But it's great right now that he's also listed as out, not on an IR or anything, so I can't put him in my IR spot. He's just going to soak up a roster spot until we figure out what's going on with him. But if Jonathan Taylor does play, to have Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, I do like that. So Jonathan Taylor on the bench, Jahan Dotson, I got a lot of shares of him. I just think he's going to just explode this year. I got Samaje Perine. Didn't feel great about it. Don't love it, but I don't know how healthy Javonte Williams is. I want to be involved with a running back and a Sean Payton ran offense. It's usually worked out pretty well. If they do ease back, I mean, this is a wait and see. I'm going to see how Samaje Perine is used in that first game and see how Javonte Williams is used and kind of get a feel for how that's going to go. That might be a complete bust pick. Jonathan Taylor might be a complete bust pick, which is why at the end of the draft, I went with Jaylen Warren and Devon Achane. Devon Achane has a path. He's a tiny little dude, but he has a path to be the number one running back for Miami. Jaylen Warren is already getting work in Pittsburgh. I like him. And if anything happens to Najee, Jaylen Warren is right up. So 2 guys that could gain value for sure. And then my last pick of the draft was Rashad Bateman. He has haunted me on my rosters for the past 2 years, being injury prone. But with the last pick of the draft, we know the guy is talented. He has played for Baltimore. At least he's been involved in the playbook. I know there's another one. But he has rapport with the coaching staff for the most part, has rapport with Lamar Jackson. I love that as a last pick. So that's what we got going on. I feel pretty good about this. Like I said, it's going to be the running back situation that really kind of determines how my team does this year. But the upside's great. Justin Fields upside, Jahmyr Gibbs upside, Kenneth Walker, we know he's a beast. Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, I don't even have to talk about them. Brandon Ayuk, I think, is going to have a breakout year this year. George Kittle is already banged up. Deebo Samuel, yeah, I know he's the dude. I know there's a lot of mouths to feed, but reports are just great on Brandon Ayuk preseason. So we got that going on. Jonathan Taylor, please play some football. Jahan Dotson's got a heck of a ceiling. Sky's the limit. Samaje P. Ryan, whatever. I mean, that is just kind of like that was like one of the last dudes that may have a role somewhere before we get to complete backups like Jalen Warren, Devon Achane, and Rashad Bateman. I like it. I like it. Okay, moving on to a 14-team half-point PPR. So I've got a 10-team full PPR. I've got a 12-team half PPR. We're on to a 14-team half PPR, and then a 12-team full PPR, and then another 12-team full PPR. But this is a 14-team half PPR. Drafting 13th is where we drafted. So we started off with A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb. Just give me some big guys on some good offenses to start with. I really did not see myself going wide receiver, especially in a 14-team league. That is tough. I really thought that my first 3 picks were going to be running backs, but you take what the board gives you. Clearly, everybody else went running backs before me. And so I'm like, I got to take these elite guys because that's what's here. And so we go with almost a 0 RB strategy. We go A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and then I went Lamar Jackson. After Lamar Jackson, which I think he's going to ball out. He was putting up historic numbers last year before the injury, and then the whole offense just crumbled. So A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Lamar Jackson. Then I went and I got Kenneth Walker. So we got another Kenny Walker. I like the guy. Then we went with a Rashad White running back for Tampa Bay. Volume. Please be there. He has the backfield too. I don't love the offense, but we love volume in fantasy football. So if he gets enough, that's the guy. I got Mike Williams as well, only because at that point somebody had Mark Andrews and then drafted Darren Waller before me. So sitting across from him, and he's like, I'm going to take all the tight ends, and so somebody has to trade with me in a 14-team league. Someone's going to need a tight end. And I'm like, yeah, it's me. I need the tight end. So we got Mike Williams in there with A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb providing really high floors. I'm fine. I love taking the chance with Mike Williams and getting those boomer bust weeks. Like, give me a week-winning week if he stays healthy. Cool. And then on the bench, Zay Flowers again. I like that Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson stack. Zay Flowers could be the dude. Another share of Samaje Perine. Again, I want a Sean Payton. I want a piece of that. We'll see. And they have talked about running the ball and taking pressure off of Russell Wilson. So could be very run heavy. Another share of Devon Achane. I like the path to the number 1. I got some Tank Bigsby. I do like Tank Bigsby. I think he is going to really blossom. We're going to watch him throughout the year come up, and it's going to be really, really fun. And Travis Etienne doesn't like catching the ball. So if I'm in a half-point PPR, give me a guy who's catching the ball. Van Jefferson, picked him up. So with Cooper Kupp being gone, he'll be an option for sure. And then Kadarius Toney with the last pick of the draft. So I went receiver heavy, and I like it. If Kenneth Walker stays healthy, Rashad White should get everything. And then I've got Samaje Perine to see what's up with. Devon Achane could work his way to a number 1. Tank Bigsby is going to be relevant. And then a couple more wide receivers because there's just nothing. I could have gone Roshan Johnson or Kendre Miller, something like that down there just to see what's up. But with Van Jefferson being able, I could put him in a flex almost immediately. Kadarius Toney, I could put him in a flex almost immediately. Zay Flowers, I'm probably going to wait and see on him. 14-team, half PPR in the books. To the 12-team, full PPR. This one could win the entire league. I could absolutely crush. This one could just take over, and it could not even be close. Or I could be in dead last because my floor is so low. Like, the volatility within this roster is incredible. Let's quit hyping it up, Clayton. Just talk about it. Deshaun Watson is the quarterback. Come on, buddy. You were really good. You're super high paid. I know that you're a piece of crap off the field. I don't condone any of that. I mean, at least in one area of his life, he's a piece of crap. I don't know about the others. I'm not here to bash anybody. Or I hope he certainly does good on the field. But Deshaun Watson, if he comes through, he's had an off season. Get his mind right, dude. See a therapist, see a psychologist. Get your mind right, homie. If he comes out and he balls, that's a heck of a value and a heck of a player. Christian Watson, wide receiver for Green Bay. Dude is talented, man. And like, who else are they going to throw to? I know Romeo Doubs is another guy, but Christian Watson's going to be the dude. Cooper Kupp stole him in the third. I say it's a steal. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. He could be on IR. But Deshaun Watson, Christian Watson, Cooper Kupp, Christian McCaffrey as my running back. Jahmyr Gibbs as my running back. I've got Antonio Gibson, who I love this year. Brandon Ayuk, who I love. Jordan Addison, wide receiver for Minnesota, who's going to get so many targets. There's so many vacated targets out there. Jahan Dotson, again, is going to blow up. Here I am again, Antonio Gibson and Jahan Dotson. It just, the way that it fell, it was like round after, they were just one round apart, and I can't stay away from talent. James Cook, running back for Buffalo. I have been scarred by Buffalo running backs. Your running back in Buffalo is Josh Allen. So they just don't dump it off to the running backs. They just run it in themselves at the goal line. It's vulturing. It's everything but good offense, doesn't have any competition. We got another share of Tank Bigsby as well. And then Kyler Murray is sitting on my IR spot. So if Deshaun Watson does not get it done, I just have to wait 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully he gets it done with his legs. He gets me enough points. Just give me like 20 points, man. If you can get 20 points with my legs. And I know Cooper Kupp's not playing, but run down again real quick. Deshaun Watson, Christian Watson, Cooper Kupp, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cole Kmet is my tight end. Failed to mention that. We'll just punt that and see where that goes week to week. Antonio Gibson, Brandon Ayuk, Sky Moore, Jordan Addison. I don't even know if I said Sky Moore. We'll see with that one. He should be, I know MVS is there, but Sky Moore should be the number one receiver out there. He might be the number one, target tomorrow. Seeing how Travis Kelce doesn't look like he's going to play. Jordan Addison, Jahan Dotson, James Cook, Tank Bigsby, Kyler Murray. This is my biggest league. This is $150. So let's go. That one that I was, whatever. I don't know. I got a freebie league. I got a $20 league. I got a $50 league, a $100 league, and $150. So I'm kind of all over the place here. This is my big one. This is the 150. That's why I was like, I'm just shooting for the moon. Like what good does it do me to be in anything but first place? Third place, I get my money back. Second place, I double my money. First place is where it's at, though. We're shooting for the moon. I don't care about being, 12 through 4 gets me nothing. Top 3, let's get some upside. Let's go, baby. Last one. This is a 12-team full PPR. Now, this one is kind of like a newbie league. A lot of people that haven't played before, and we're just trying to get them exposed to fantasy football. So this one is halfway stacked, and should be, except I don't feel great about my quarterback situation. So we have Daniel Jones for the Giants. I don't feel great about it. But I don't feel horrible. Like, I would have probably rather had Geno Smith, except he was sniped right before me. But it's going to be Saquon Barkley and it's going to be Darren Waller. That's kind of it, man. Unless Daniel Jones can do a Patrick Mahomes kind of a thing and just spread the ball out to whoever, because every other receiver is like 5'5" and a $145 soaking wet. They're just small. So we'll see. Maybe he has to get it done with his legs, and that's what I'm hoping for. Give me the rushing upside of Daniel Jones. Come through, baby. But my first two picks, I think I was on the back end of this at like 10 or something like that. Went with Nick Chubb and Tony Pollard. The best running back situation almost that I could ask for. I love that so much. So much. I am so stoked. Nick Chubb, one of the best pure rushers in the league. Kareem Hunt's not there. He might get a couple of targets. He might actually catch some things in the backfield. And then Tony Pollard, a little smaller. Haven't seen him in a full season, but I'm really not worried about it. They've got a good couple of younger running backs to give Pollard a breather, and it's just going to be on a great offense. Calvin Ridley, got another share of him, another share of Tyler Lockett. Mark Andrews as the tight end. Let's go. So this one, I went with an elite tight end. I think this is the only one where I have an elite tight end. Every other one I've punted. So, went with Mark Andrews there. Cam Akers. I got some shares at Cam Akers. I think people are down on him. He's a heck of a talent. He broke out at the end of last year. I mean, I know I have to keep justifying it because the Rams aren't very sexy. Like, Cam Akers is not very sexy, but, like, the dude's talented, okay? Dude's talented. He's got the whole backfield. John Dotson. Do I have him in every league? Probably. I love the value. And then on my bench, Jerick McKinnon, Deion Jackson, James Cook, Jaylen Warren, Rashad Bateman, and Quentin Johnston. Clayton, that's a heck of a bench. How do you have so many? I dropped my kicker and I pick up Deion Jackson. This is the one where I was trying to figure out if I can get something changed here, if I can make a trade or something like that, trying to make it work. So dropped a kicker, picked up Deion Jackson, and if I don't make a trade, then Sunday morning I'll probably drop Deion Jackson, because with a running back room like Nick Chubb and Tony Pollard, I really don't need that. And I'll pick up a kicker and we'll be all right. So there we go. That's it. That's my 5 leagues that I'm in. I am going to stay cautious and just watch usage, see what's going on, see how my question mark players kind of do, but I'm not making any emotional, rational decisions. And then I'm looking for breakout players that happen on week 1. So that's the feel. I feel pretty good just about every team, honestly. Though the only one is my big league where I've got Deshaun Watson, Christian Watson, Cooper Kupp. That one's kind of tough. I just need people to show up, show up and we'll be all right. But those are wide, they're wide receivers. Deshaun Watson, sure, I could probably stream somebody and get by week to week if he doesn't perform. That's the thing. Stay engaged. Fantasy football is not won at the draft. Like, you have to keep working at it. You have to keep it going. The only other one that I'm a little concerned with too is my OG league, my 15-year league, where I've got Jahmyr Gibbs and Kenny Walker as the running backs. I do love young running backs though, and hopefully Justin Jefferson and Chris Olave will carry me through. And Justin Fields does what he did last year. He just can't be worse than he was last year. If he's just as good, we are good to go. So I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. I hope you guys got some leagues. It's before Thursday kickoff. You have time to go get in some leagues if you want to. But don't panic. It's only week 1, guys. Dive into the stats on Tuesday. Look for breakouts, and I hope y'all are dominating your league, baby. Let's go week 1. Can't wait. We'll see you all next week. I'm only doing one a week. Follow me on X/Twitter if you're looking. I'm just gonna bash this mic around. If you're looking to follow me day to day, get some insights. I love answering questions. There's a link in the bio to all my social media. Hit it. Let's get it, baby. Peace.